What's going on? So, um, welcome to a DPS tier list video. 2023 DC Universe Online. My last video that I posted got copyrighted. I don't know why it got copyrighted or how it got copyrighted. So, I had to take it down. It got copyrighted, so I just took it down because I didn't want to deal with nothing like that. I didn't want to deal with no strikes or anything like that. So I just took it down. Yeah, this is a DPS tier list for 2023 for DC Universe Online. So I'm gonna be ranking every power basically based solely on their DPS, like DPS in general. So let's get to it. Oh yeah, with crazy being the best, trash being the worst. Let's get to it. Earth. Is mid. I mean, if you want to do the most damage with Earth, you have to put in some iconic powers, so that's why it's mid. But the reason why it's mid is because of his melee. The melee side is really good. It's really strong, and that jackhammer is just something tough, and it's oh my gosh, it's just deadly. So that's why it's mid and not almost trash or trash. Earth really doesn't have any AOE like that for real. It really don't at all. But yeah, if Earth didn't have his melee, then it would be trash. Okay, now let's go with fire. Fire DPS is almost there. The reason why it's not crazy is simply because alright, so fire, fire has fire blast and stuff like that, and if you get interrupted, then that's a lot of damage that you're losing, So and even when you don't get interrupted, you better hope it crits, because if it don't crit, then you won't be doing a lot of damage. So by the time the fire blast and animation, like by the time it finishes, then somebody else already did like 100k damage just like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's why like fire is not crazy. But other than that, it would be crazy because fire does do damage. It does lots of damage. But that's why it's not crazy because of that reason. Gadgets is crazy. Until DC fixes until DC fix gadgets, I don't think gadgets will like be below crazy. Next year it still might be crazy. The year after that, it still might be crazy. Until they fix it, until they nerf it, then it's gonna stay on crazy. The DPS, like the clipping, like gadgets is the best clipping power. Like it's the best clipping power. Like you can clip your powers with preg, and you can clip your powers with might side too, and it still does a lot of damage. Like gadgets is just crazy. It's just crazy. Light is mid. I do think light is a little bit underrated. Like because you don't see most people go light as their power when they're like a DPS. Like you rarely see a light DPS. But in my opinion, light is a very underrated power because it's like might melee is like really good, and might AOE is like really good, and even the single target is like really good. I mean, it is somewhat power hungry, but it's still like really good. So I mean, I don't see too many people talk good about light, so that's why it's just like light is just underrated because it does good damage, but nobody wants to go light for some reason. Ice, ice. Ooh, no. Like last year, I think I had ice in like almost trash. Well, I'm gonna put it in almost there. No, last year I think I had ice in trash. But every year some stuff changes. Every year the meta changes. Every year somebody figures out something. And ice is just one of those powers that somebody just figured out. Because it's like ice has the ice that ice elemental, and it's like really good. It does really good damage. And if you use ice with EOG, you're gonna do lots and lots and lots of damage, especially up in elite. Man, you're gonna do a lot of damage. And I'm glad that people figured out ways to actually be good with ice, because ice is a good power. Don't get me wrong, ice is a good power. But like just like a year ago, nobody was really using it, but now that everybody figured out the ice elemental stuff, it's just it's just OP. So if you like using EOG, go ice. You gotta try ice. You gotta try it. This I think this electricity. Yeah, this electricity. It's crazy. Electricity is like electricity is another one of those powers that I think it wasn't crazy last year, but I feel like it can actually compete with gadgets now, because I feel like last year gadget was just in his own little world. Like as far as like damage, gadget was in his own little world. But now I feel like electricity is starting to catch back up a little bit. It's starting to catch back up. Electricity is right there. It's right there with gadgets. This is the first time up in a long time where power is actually up there with gadgets when you do damage. It's like, because if you were EOG user, go electric. You would do lots and lots and lots of damage, especially with circuit breaker. Lots and lots of damage. Like, you would actually be competing with gadgets, and that's crazy. So EOG is the reason why it's crazy. Mental. All right, man. Look, I had mental in almost there. I think it was last year. Now this year, mental was crazy. I was in an elite raid. Well, not an elite raid. I was in an elite duo. This one guy was mental, was just speeding through it like it wasn't nothing. Like, I actually thought this dude was like a speed hacker, but he wasn't on PC. He was on PlayStation. And this dude, I don't know what loadout he had. He was just speeding through it, like just speeding through it. Like, that single target is something serious. Like, Mental has the best single target up in the game, hands down. The single target is really, really good. It does so much damage, and you can just keep spamming some single target power, like just keep spamming, and it does so much damage. Like, even a spamming single target powers does so much damage. Like, I feel like mental is very underrated too, but it's crazy. So I won't be surprised if they start to overrate mental. But for right now, it's underrated. But some people know about mental, but the majority of the people won't go mental because they will say that it sucks. But it does a lot. It does lots of damage. So just try mental. It does lots of damage. Munitions is also crazy. Man, we have a lot of powers and crazy this year. That's crazy. So, all right. When I put mental in front, or when I put munitions in front of mental, I would. But mental is still doing crazy damage. But munitions just has everything. It has AoE, it has melee, it has single target. It just has everything. And I feel like mental just only has a powerful single target. But I mean, mental AoE is not bad either, but it's just not better than munitions. Like, for munition, you literally can use your AoE for a single target if you really wanted to. And that's one of the only powers that you can say that about. But yeah, like you literally can use one, like with munition, you can use like one loadout for single target, AoE, and melee if you wanted to. It won't make a massive amount of difference if you do use it, but that's how good munitions is. Like, everything is just so powerful and just so good, and damage comes so fast. So, nature. Hey man. Hey man. Hey man. Hey man. Almost there. Hey. I'm gonna put it in almost there for now. But I got a good feeling next year it's gonna be crazy. Let me tell y'all something. That poison ivy ally, man, look. DC done messed up. They done messed up. Like, I feel like that's gonna be the meta now, cause it's just oh my goodness. Like, I just feel like it's gonna be the meta. Poison ivy, you get stacks, and every time you like hit somebody, your stacks like increase or something like that. It's sort of like, what's the name? What's the artifact called? It's sort of like it's sort of like Amulet, and it's sort of like Ebon, but you don't get no like power deduction or no like health deduction or and stuff like that. So I guess that's the devs like I guess that's the devs thing to like buff nature a little bit, you know, with the power set allies and stuff like that. But I like it though, you know. I actually think like nature should like get a buff. But yeah, it isn't almost there now because it is very, very, very powerful. And you can do lots and lots and lots of damage with that ally just on. Like lots of damage. So try it out, you know. Atomic. Atomic ain't it ain't trash because Atomic be hidden. Like it be hidden, but it don't be hidden like the rest of these powers up here. So like Atomic, it's just like I just feel like that they need to buff Atomic a little bit. Like how they did Nature, that's how they need to do Atomic. Like they just need to give Atomic a power set ally so it can just buff it. That's what they need to do, you know. Cause Atomic is just it ain't really it ain't. I mean, it's good, but it's not better than all these powers ahead of it, you know. Water. This is just DPS. Water needs a lot of work. The same thing I said with Atomic, they need to happen with water. Like they need to come out with a power set ally and just buff water, because water damage is not hitting at all. Unless you have a lot of skill points, then yeah, you can get away with it. Or unless you're an artifact swapper. If you're an artifact swapper, then yeah, you could be good with any power if you artifact swap or if you have a lot of skill points. But if you're just now starting out and you have like 100 to 200 to 300 skill points, I wouldn't go water if I were you. I wouldn't even go atomic if I were you. If you had that many skill points. If you got 400 to 500 to 600, then yeah, you can beat any power you want and you can do damage. Rage is mid. You know, I think Rage was higher in last year's video. I think it was higher, but the reason why it's mid is simply because it doesn't like other than melee. You like Rage doesn't have nothing. Rage is so powerful melee wise. It's probably the best melee power up on the game. To be honest, it just hit so hard. Like, okay, I had a level 50 tune with like 40 some skill points. I went up in the event with Rage. I raised melee the whole event duo. And I was facing somebody else. I was facing my league mate. He has like 300 some skill points and he was Earth. I beat him. Like I literally beat this dude. I like beat him by like 3 mil. And he has 300 some skill points. And I had like 40 some skill points and I was Rage. And I beat him. Because Rage melee was so powerful. Like stupid powerful. I mean, I know it's just an event, but at the same time, if you have 300 some skill points, you should still be beating me even in the event. You know what I'm saying? But that's how powerful Rage melee is, and yes, you have to be super speed to do the most amount of damage, because super speed is just deadly. This sorcery mid, as far as like the projectiles and stuff like that. As far as like the might side of sorcery, is mid, you know. But pet DPS is what has sorcery in like mid, like right here. And same thing with Earth. Earth pet DPS is like really good too, but it's the same thing with sorcery. That's why it's mid, because the pet DPS side is good. Fury does a lot of damage. I don't know why Fury does a lot of damage, but it does a lot of damage. And I tried every other pet DPS with Robot Sidekick and Earth Crystal. To me, Fury does the most amount of damage. I just keep up with the top DPS when I'm pet DPS with sorcery. So yeah, is this light? Oh my gosh! What? You know what? I'm gonna just rank it. Fear. Okay, apparently fear is its own power. It's just like light. You know, the same loadouts, the same everything. You know, light is very underrated. Fear is very underrated, and it's just, you know, everybody says that fear and light, it doesn't do damage, but it does do damage. The melee side does do damage. Even the AoE side does do damage, and the single target does do damage. if you have a lot of skill points, then you would be up here with light. So yeah.